Have you ever looked down at your ankles at the end of the day and seen that puffy swelling that leaves an indent when you press on it? Or have you felt that heavy, waterlogged sensation in your legs that makes climbing a simple flight of stairs feel like a monumental effort? For millions of seniors, this isn't just an occasional annoyance after a long day. It's a chronic, daily struggle that can be uncomfortable, painful, and frankly, very worrying. Welcome to Health Voices, everyone. I'm Sarah. So many of us see swollen legs and immediately fear the worst, a serious problem with our heart, our kidneys, or our liver. And while those possibilities should always be discussed with your doctor, what if I told you that for a vast number of people, the root cause is much simpler, far more common, and something you have the power to fix, starting today in your own kitchen? Here to shed light on this is our trusted expert, Dr. Morgan. Doctor, thank you for being here to tackle a topic that affects so many in our community.
It's my pleasure, Sarah, and you framed the issue perfectly. While it is absolutely essential to rule out serious conditions with your physician, I see countless patients in my practice whose leg swelling is not caused by organ failure, but by a correctable crisis happening at the cellular level. This crisis has two main culprits. The first is a mechanical failure in your cells. The second is a common dietary habit that acts like pouring fuel on a fire. Understanding these two things is the key to resolving the issue for good, often without needing to rely on diuretic medications or water pills, which can sometimes cause their own set of problems.
A cellular crisis. That sounds serious. Can you break down what's happening inside our bodies when our legs start to swell?
Of course, inside every cell in your body, you have millions of microscopic engines called sodium-potassium pumps. Think of these pumps like the bilge pump on a boat. Their job is to constantly pump excess sodium and water out of the cell while pulling essential potassium in. This process is so critical and energy intensive that it can use up to a third of your body's total resting energy. It maintains the perfect fluid balance that allows your cells, nerves, and muscles to function. When these pumps are working correctly, your tissues are properly hydrated and there's no excess fluid hanging around. But when they break down or become sluggish, the boat starts to take on water. Fluid that should be pumped out gets trapped in the spaces between your cells, leading to that visible swelling or edema in your ankles, feet, and lower legs.
And what causes these critical pumps to break down?
Two primary factors. The first is a deficiency in the very minerals that fuel the pumps. The second, and often more powerful factor, is a diet high in sugar. When you consume a lot of sugar or refined carbohydrates, your blood sugar spikes. In response, your body releases a large amount of the hormone insulin. Now, insulin's main job is to shuttle sugar into your cells for energy, but it has another lesser-known effect. It signals to your kidneys to hold on to sodium. As sodium levels rise in your bloodstream, your body retains more water to keep things balanced. This is a major direct cause of swelling. But it gets worse. Excess sugar in the blood leads to a process called glycation. You can think of this as sugar essentially caramelizing the proteins in your body, making them sticky and dysfunctional. This damages your blood vessels, impairs circulation, and creates a state of chronic inflammation that puts even more stress on your entire system. The science on this is well established, with decades of research in journals like Diabetes Care linking high insulin levels to renal sodium retention.
So the sugar is creating a perfect storm. It's causing water retention directly, while also creating the inflammation that makes everything worse. For our listeners who might be experiencing this, what are the tools we can use to fix these broken pumps and calm this storm?
This is where we get to the solution, And it's a three-part nutritional strategy. We need to provide the right minerals to fix the pump and the right vitamin to protect the body from sugar-related damage. The first and most important mineral we need is potassium. Potassium is the primary fuel for the sodium-potassium pump. It's the yin to sodium's yang. They need to be in a delicate balance. The challenge is that our modern diet is overloaded with sodium and severely lacking in potassium. The average adult needs a significant amount, about 4,700 milligrams of potassium every single day.
4,700 milligrams? That sounds like a lot. Can you put that into perspective for us?
I can. It's a very common misconception. People think, I'll just eat a banana. But a medium banana only has about 300 to 400 milligrams of potassium. To reach your daily goal, you would need to eat about 15 bananas a day.
15 bananas. Okay. Clearly that's not a practical solution. So what are some better, more realistic sources?
My number one recommendation is avocado. A single avocado can contain nearly 1,000 milligrams of potassium, along with healthy fats that are wonderful for your heart. Other fantastic sources include leafy greens like spinach, as long as it's cooked, potatoes with the skin on, beans, lentils, and salmon. I had a patient, a woman in her 60s named Helen, who was on a diuretic for her swollen legs, but she hated how it made her feel. She felt weak and was constantly running to the bathroom. We worked on aggressively increasing the potassium-rich foods in her diet. After 2 months, her swelling was so well controlled that with her cardiologist's supervision, she was able to significantly reduce her medication. She addressed the root cause instead of just managing the symptom.
That's the kind of empowerment we're all looking for, so potassium is the first key mineral. What is the second?
The second essential mineral is magnesium. If potassium is the fuel for the pump, think of magnesium as the spark plug. Magnesium is a cofactor required to activate over 300 different enzyme systems in the body, including the sodium-potassium pump. You can have all the potassium in the world, but without sufficient magnesium, the pump simply won't run efficiently. Magnesium deficiency is incredibly common, and it can lead to muscle cramps, fatigue, and you guessed it, fluid retention. Fortunately, it's easier to get than potassium. The daily requirement is around 420 milligrams.
And where can we find good sources of magnesium? For those listening, I'm sure many are wondering if they are getting enough. If this is something you've thought about, let us know in the comments.
Excellent food sources include nuts and seeds, especially almonds, cashews, and pumpkin seeds. A handful of almonds provides about 80 milligrams. Legumes like black beans and lentils are also fantastic. And dark chocolate, in moderation, is another delicious source. For some people, a high-quality electrolyte powder that contains a good ratio of both potassium and magnesium without added sugar can be a very convenient way to ensure they are meeting their daily needs.
So we have potassium and magnesium to repair the pump. But you said there was one key vitamin. What is it and what does it do?
This is the piece that ties it all together, especially in our modern high-carb world. The vitamin is vitamin B1, also known as thiamine. Vitamin B1's primary job is to act as the carbohydrate manager. It is essential for converting the carbohydrates and sugars we eat into usable energy. When you eat a diet high in refined carbs, but low in B1, your body quickly depletes its reserves of this vital nutrient. When that happens, your body can't process sugar effectively, leading to high blood sugar and all the problems we discussed, including glycation. But vitamin B1 also has another critical role. It acts as the nerve protector. Thiamine deficiency is a leading cause of a condition called peripheral neuropathy. damage to the nerves in your hands and feet.
And that's what causes the tingling, numbness, and burning sensations that often accompany the swelling?
Precisely. The link between B1 deficiency and neuropathy is well documented in major medical journals, like the Annals of Internal Medicine. Vitamin B1 helps protect your nerves and blood vessels from the damaging effects of glycation, that caramelization process. So it not only helps your body manage sugar better, but it actively protects your tissues from the damage that sugar can cause. I often think of a patient with prediabetes who suffered terribly from burning pain in his feet. His diet was full of white bread and sugary drinks. We made two major changes. We drastically cut the sugar and refined carbs, and we focused on foods rich in vitamin B1, like lean pork, beans, and sunflower seeds. Over several months, the reduction in swelling was visible, but what changed his life was the significant decrease in that constant burning nerve pain.
That is a life-changing improvement. So this one vitamin is tackling the problem from two different angles.
It is. It is both a manager and a protector. You can find it in legumes, whole grains, and lean meats like pork. For some individuals, especially those who have been on a high carbohydrate diet for a long time, a high-quality B-complex supplement might be beneficial, but that is a conversation to have with your doctor.
This has been incredibly clear, Doctor. So the strategy is to fuel the cellular pumps with potassium and magnesium while protecting the entire system from sugar damage with vitamin B1. And all of this is built on a foundational change.
Yes, I cannot stress this enough. These three nutrients are the solution, but they can only work effectively if you address the primary cause. You must eliminate or drastically reduce your intake of sugar and refined carbohydrates. If you don't, you will always be fighting an uphill battle. The swelling will always return because you are continuously fueling the fire. I know the next question is, but doctor, if I don't eat those things, what will I eat? And that is a wonderful question, and one we will explore in our next episode.
A perfect reason for everyone to subscribe. This has been a masterclass in understanding the root cause of such a common problem. It moves the conversation from just water retention to a much deeper understanding of cellular health.
That's the goal, to empower you with knowledge. Because when you understand the why, the what to do becomes clear and motivated. You're not just avoiding sugar, you're calming inflammation. You're not just eating an avocado, you're fueling millions of tiny pumps in your cells. That is how you take back control of your health.
Thank you so much, Dr. Morgan. This has been invaluable. To our amazing community, if this video was helpful, please give it a like so others can find it, and share it with a friend who might be struggling with these same issues. Let us know in the comments, what was the most surprising thing you learned today? Your engagement helps our channel grow and helps us help more people.
And finally, a crucial reminder. The information discussed today is for educational purposes. As we've discussed minerals and vitamins that can interact with medications, especially blood pressure and diabetes medications, it is essential to speak with your personal doctor or pharmacist before making any changes to your diet or adding supplements. Take care, everyone.